Alright, so in today's video I'm going to be going over 5 characters that I felt were quite underrated in the Black Clover mobile beta. So make sure you like and subscribe and enjoy. Alright, so to kick things off, before we get into the 5th one or whatever, I would just like to say, before you say anything, okay, comment section, if there is going to be anybody that comments in this video, yes I know characters have changed and I know characters will change. This is only based off the beta and based off of my own opinions from the beta, from what I played and from what, from what I saw playing PvP, PvE, etc, okay? So yeah. Anyway, let's get on to it. So, number 5. I guess this list is also not in any particular order. It's just the 5 most, I guess. But number 5 is the SR Asta that you get completely for free in Black Clover Mobile at the very start. And I just felt like it was just really good. It was just really, really, really good. And my most favourite thing about him was just his combined attack, giving him literally just invulnerability and taunt, which meant, he was pretty damn useful for a lot of PvE content, because any boss that had, or anything that had pretty strong single target damage, you could just use his combined attack with whoever you wanted. It could be whoever, it doesn't necessarily matter. And you could just taunt them, and then you'd be invulnerable to damage for that whole turn, basically. So basically, for one whole cycle of the speed gauge, you literally, your whole team would pretty much take no damage, most likely, if they, only had single target damage, which was, really, really good, and was why he was a really, really good tank for, again, a lot of PvE content. I liked pairing him up with Yami, as, because it would be like a double AoE almost, because he used his second skill, Rampage, which was an AoE when he used his combined attack, and he would also work with Yami as well, because Yami would just use his basic attack, and then he'd also do AoE, so you could also cleave with it, which was really nice, and you'd also be invulnerable to just any form of damage for a very long time, but, was a little bit susceptible to maybe, removals of buffs or whatever, but, it's, is what it is, and he also stunned an enemy target for one turn if they did not have an active taunt, so, which was also pretty damn good as well, so yeah, Asta was really, really good. I also just liked how, he did a good amount of damage just from his weapon enhancement as well. And, he was just really consistent, very, again, really consistent, and was able to do, the things you wanted him to do on a very regular basis, which was, what I think, is what you're looking for in a unit in a gacha game. You want them to be consistent, you want them to be usable in pretty much most things that you do, which he was, which was really great. So, yeah, Asta for me was fantastic. Alright, next up is the SR Mimosa that was in the beta, as, I think... I think healers are always underrated in gacha games, especially turn-based gacha games as well. I think healers, at least at the start of these kinds of things, I think they're really good. And I think one thing that, wasn't necessarily explored too much was barrier creation, which is why the next character you'll see in a second also does a very similar thing. As on her ultimate, she applied recovery, healing, and then she also gave a friendly target a barrier of... 55% of her HP for 2 turns, which was really, really good, because, barriers were very, very strong, and, were enabling your whole team to tank, everything a lot easier, which was really good. And yeah, you can never not like healing, so I feel like that was, why for me Mimosa was, really kind of underrated. I feel like her and the next character we'll get onto will hopefully prove that anyway. And another thing I really liked on her combined attack was that she gave lifesteal as well, although it was a very low chance, but I feel like lifesteal is a potentially unexplored mechanic in this game so far. So that's why I feel like she could be underrated, and why she couldn't be as well. So who knows? We'll have to see when she comes out, and if she's changed quite a bit from the beta, we will see. But yeah, Mimosa for me, I felt was pretty good. I liked her a lot. So yeah, on to the next one. Alright, next up is Noel, and I know Noel has changed from the beta, from trailers and videos and live streams that we've seen. Her skill 2, I'm pretty sure, is completely different from before. But anyway, her ultimate was the biggest thing anyway, and I'm pretty sure that hasn't changed anyway. I think it might have been slightly nerfed, I think, from my memory, but I think it hasn't changed completely. As basically what it did, it created a water barrier that protected all friendly targets, and then applied barrier equal to 25% of her maximum HP for 2 turns, and then it applied a defense increase to a friendly target for 2 turns. Now, this barrier, when you stacked it with loads and loads of HP, was absolutely massive. It was very, very strong, and in Arena, it was pretty hard to break when you came across an AI Noel, because the AI pretty much just used their ultimate turn 1, then their skill on their turn 2, and then etc. So yeah, she was really, really good because of that. And then on her skill 2, which gave her a taunt as well, and made her go into a defensive stance as well, meant she also just didn't take damage either. So yeah, she was incredible as a tank, even though, which was weird because she wasn't under the tank role, which was really weird, or the defender role, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, she was really good. Being able to heal just on her skill 1 as well, which was really nice. So you could just do damage whilst healing as well, which is great. And yeah, you know, on her passive as well, giving another barrier when allies' HP drop below 20% for 2 turns. So yeah, she was incredible. Honestly, I think she was quite underrated, at least in my opinion, anyway. Her barrier that she created was insane. Again, you know, things like that again makes them become a bit susceptible to buff removal, but if they didn't have that, because I feel like there wasn't too many things that had buff removal in Black Clover Mobile. I could be wrong, but I just can't really remember too well. But yeah, Noel was definitely pretty damn good in my opinion. All right, so now for definitely a bit of I think a very unused unit within the beta. I used him myself, and you know I really liked him in the beta for PvE activities. He was really good. Was Rades. Now, obviously, we know Rades has been upgraded to an SSR, and I believe has had a type changing from blue to green, I believe. But it still remains as that tank role or whatever. But my favourite thing about him was his skill 2 and his ultimate, or his special skill, whatever you want to call it, as it was really good for the Betel Gigas activity. At least I found him to be very useful for that, as because he just gave immortality, and he also gave debuff block as well, which was really, really handy as well, and also created a barrier as well. But although the barrier, it was scaling off of magic attack, which, yeah, if you saw like Vengeance, as his ultimate also scaled off magic attack with its healing, it wasn't that good, but that's not really the thing you're looking for. The thing you were looking for was the immortality and also the debuff block, as, you know, really helped you tank the raid boss's AoE damage and his AoE cleave, or whatever you want to call it. As, you know, when you're trying to do the hardest difficulties or whatever, and you've got a slightly weakened team, you can use him, get the immortality, and then boom, you can just not die for a little bit, and then yeah, you'd be absolutely solid. And I really liked running him with the with Asta and his combo with his combined attack, because Asta would give himself invulnerability to damage, and then after you do that, you could then give him immortality with Rades, which I felt was really good. And then his skill 2, which was really nice because it was just an AoE, and it had a 75% chance to apply defense reduction, speed reduction, and also incapacitate as well if they had a poison debuff, which you apply with his skill 1, which was really good. So he applied so many debuffs, a lot of very useful debuffs as well, which I find really good, because speed reduce is well, I mean, as we saw in Arena, like speed reduction, stamina reduction were all really good. As well as, you know, reducing their defense and applying incapacitate, making them take a lot more damage as well, which was really good. He had damage over time effects with poison. He just had a lot, man. He was really good. So, yeah, I think Rades for me was very underrated. And then the final one is Fuegoleon Vermilion. Now, I think after seeing Arena and the top teams in Arena, I feel like after seeing, you know, stamina reduction, stuns, speed reduction were all incredibly powerful, that I feel like Fuegoleon could potentially be underrated if he still, you know, remains as this kind of unit in Black Clover Mobile when the game officially releases. As, you know, I think, yeah, especially because on his skill, he applied burn, stun, and would also apply speed reduction all on one skill. Obviously, there was, you know, some more you know, niche parts about the skill of them, you know, having to have certain things happen to the enemy for the skill to proc these certain effects, but still, it was really good. As well as his ultimate, you know, giving weapon enhancement and also applying up to 30% stamina reduction, which is really good. It's absolutely insane. He was pretty damn decent, I feel like, especially for arena purposes as well, and also could be good for PvE as well, considering that, you know, I feel like stamina reduction, speed reduction could be useful in all forms of gameplay within Black Clover Mobile. Again, I could be wrong, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, for me, Fuegoleon was really good. I think, yeah, his ult and skill, his skill 2 with the synergy between those two was really, really good. Because, you know, if they, on his skill 2, if they had less than 50% stamina, he would apply a speed reduction to them as well, which is really, really good. So, yeah, and then also his ultimate applying stamina reduction as well, which is just, you know, insane. And then you could pair him up with other stamina reducers as well, and then, yeah, the enemies just couldn't move. So yeah, for me, Frigolion was really, really good. Alright, so that is it for today's video. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, whether you agree with me or not, depending on whether you played in the beta or not. I guess that's the only way you could know. Or I guess you could just look at, you know, videos, information about these characters and make your own opinions as well. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in a couple days when Black Clover Mobile comes out, because unfortunately it comes out at a horrible time for me, but that is what it is. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.